UK oil, which I don't know if anyone took advantage of this UK oil yesterday. UK oil is already in profit. We saw price come into that buy opportunity zone we identified yesterday, and we saw sharp rejections of that level. As we can see, price is running about pips in profit now. We have like 443, is it 43 or 430 pips? And as we can see, let's go down to a much lower time frame to see how structure played out before the trigger was happened. So we saw price come into that buy opportunity zone area we identified yesterday. Then we saw a quick rejection of that area, which looks more like a reversal pattern, a retest of structure, and price moved to our, as expected, on the 15 minutes time frame. So it was profitable, and let's see how price is reacting at the moment and what we need to do at this point in time. So what we can see, as far as we can tell, is that price has moved like this, and we saw the impulse move that happened, and then afterwards we saw what looks more like a retracement, a consolidation phase rather, and we are in a scenario where price looks something like this. Then if we look closely into what has been happening, let's scale down to the 15 minutes time frame, for instance, and see what's happening at that consolidation phase. We will notice that we have hold on a second, let's see how that works. Okay, we saw the first test of the structure around here. We saw that bearish move, and then we saw that breakout of that. So allow me to do this at this point. So if we look closely and bring back our candle chart, we saw that we had a rejection of this area. Sorry, okay, we had a rejection of this area. Then price went back into this area again. We saw a sharp rejection of that area, and price came back down. We saw a rejection the third time, and then we saw the final breakout of that area, a retest of structure, and we saw the trend continuation to the upside. So with a breakout of the structure at this point, a breakout and retest of the structure, it's more of a confirmation that we want to be going upside. So with that being said, we want to look for key level around this area that will guide our actions going forward. So going back to our line chart at this point, we will definitely see something like this around this area that we can work with going forward. So if you allow me, permit me to do this, and we have our key level as golden as usual. Then I saw a cycle at 1.50. Okay, let's put it around this area. So at 1.50 key level at 111.500. So we have something like this. Okay, so this is what we have here right now. So we want to be using that key level as our guide going into the weekend. So with this information that we have right now, then we want to be moving our stop loss to somewhere right below that key level to mitigate against any sudden decline in price action going into the weekend. So if I were you, it's now ripe enough to move our stop loss to somewhere right below that key level, or probably somewhere around $110.50 to lock in some profit. And we anticipate that probably there could be a trend continuation to our take profit target at 120.0. So this is my expectation on this one. So with let me see again. Okay, let's go back to, I think it's more clearer on the lower time frame than on the 1 hour time frame. So we have something like this, and then so remember this blue area is our supply zone that we identified on the weekly time frame yesterday, and we are expecting a possibility where there will be a breakout of that supply zone, a retest of structure, and a trend continuation to the upside. So let's see how price plays out at this point in time. So this is my perspective on the UK oil. Yes, good morning, Can. We'll look at, okay, US oil. So Can, we will look at US oil right away. However, it is I think the UK oil and the US oil share the same structure and pattern. Okay, all right. So we're on US oil right now, and then we had an entry point. Okay, we saw that sharp rejection of the buy opportunity zone, and let's see what happened on, let's say, the lower time frame. And then we saw, okay, yes, we saw the first retest of that. Uh, we saw that first retest here. Price came back here, and then we saw the second rejection of that area, and our pending order was triggered yesterday. Can, did you take advantage of that move? Hello, Can, did you take advantage of that move? Okay, so we had price move up. Now we saw this gap. We saw price come down a little bit into our area here. So my advice at this point is that we want to be moving our stop loss to break even at this point on the US oil, as we never can tell what is going to happen. However, going into the New York session, what's going to be our plans going forward? So if we look left, we look at what can be our guide into the New York session. So if we scale down, we bring out our line chart at this point, then we are definitely identify this bullish trend line on the 15 minutes time frame, which, if you allow me to bold this for clarity's sake, so we have something like this, and then we'll be looking for this bullish trend line to guide our actions going forward. So if you are taking advantage of that entry on the US oil, then we want to be moving our stop loss to somewhere right below that right below that trend line, after which we look for possibilities of a trend continuation to the upside. So allow me to identify a key level at this point that we can use to guide our action going forward. So I think 110 area appears to be most significant for a key level. So if we have our key level right at 110 area here, so we're expecting that price breaking out of that key level. So one thing we're going to be having here is this: if we have a breakout of that key level and a retest of that key level, then we want to look for structures that support a trend continuation to the upside, after which we add one more position to this trade. So if things work out as expected during the New York session, then definitely we want to be having two trades running on this commodity. So please have this in mind: 110, a key level at this point, bullish trend line running, guiding our actions going forward. We have a breakout of key level, a retest of key level gives us a confirmation, which also shares a confluence with that trend line, looking for structures to buy and follow the trend to the upside. So we want to be adding position at this point on the US oil. I think that is clear on the US oil. Can, any questions? Myers, good morning. How are you? Bali, good morning. So moving on to Euro USD. On the Euro USD, what scenario do we have on the Euro USD? We can see that on the Euro USD, we had our entry points 2 or 3 days ago, and price moved. We have three positions running, and price moved over 100 pips in total, and we saw price came back to our entry point where we got taken out at break even on this trade, and since then price has been finding higher highs. So right now, since the beginning of this, since yesterday night, we've started seeing a consolidation phase around this area, which is also around the supply zone we identified during the weekend. And we're looking at a possibility that probably price will be going up from this area. That is, from this point, price might be going up, or probably we could see a reversal pattern in the form of a double top structure to double top structure around here. That is a reversal pattern, because as you can see, then we look for a breakout of structure, which be give us a signal, a retest into structure. Then we look for structures that supports a trend continuation to the downside. So what I'm having here is I'm having an entry point, setting opportunity once again at 1.05666, where I'm looking out for a breakdown as a signal. However, if we see a breakout of this 1.060605, we see a breakout of this area, then we want to be looking for a retest to join a potential rally continuation. So this is my perspective on the Euro USD, and let's see how price reacts going into the weekend. But one more thing I would like to say on the Euro USD is that, considering the fact that we are on a Friday and people are actually rounding off their activities for the week on this one, I would probably suggest that we hold on this pair and let's see how this leg is going to move. Is there going to be a retracement into the key level we have here, which also shares a confluence with the bullish trend line, after which we'll be looking for structures that will support a trend continuation to the upside. Or if we have a breakout of the structure, then I would suggest that we just keep our fingers crossed and don't bother taking any trade, because we might be having the potentials of going upward, and we don't know how far that will go. And if you look left and look into higher time frames, we'll notice that we are on a long-term bearish momentum, and it will be not advisable to take advantage of any buy opportunity unless we see a retest of that key level, at least for this Friday. So let's see what happens on the Euro USD going forward. Well, Rifts is asking if he has to complete the shoulder, right? If I may ask, which shoulder are you talking about here, please? Are you talking about the double top structure? Hello, Rifts. Well, yes, it's an uptrend, definitely. We already have an impulse leg here where we can see, which definitely pronounces that it's an uptrend at this point in time. However, we still need to take consideration the fact that this is a long-term bearish momentum. If you look left or you go to a daily time frame to see what is happening. However, if you really want to take this uptrend continuation at this point, if you didn't take this move yesterday, then we want to be waiting for the completion of a retracement phase, probably our golden zone area, which is around 50 to 78.6% of the impulse leg, where we will be looking for an opportunity to join the rally to the upside after we see a reversal pattern that supports that trend continuation to the upside. However, with this present structure around this area, is looking more like a reversal pattern, as what we're seeing at this point is a lower high, and looking more like a double top structure. Not only if we see a breakout of structure that we want to be looking for a trend continuation of the upside, but I said it's not advisable to take that trend continuation at this point, as we want to look for evident confirmations that will guide our action going forward. And for me at this point in time, the only thing that will allow me to take bullish continuation on this one is when I see price move into either this key level we identify at 1.05200, or this trend line we identified here. Then we look for structures that support a trend continuation to the upside. So that is what I think was going to be happening on this Euro USD going forward.